Good evening. Welcome to the October 16th, 2013 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. At this time, I'd like to request you make sure your phones are on silent or vibrate or off. Okay, if you would stand and repeat after me.
Oh, please make it. Leg.
We're waiting on you, Gary.
It's the leg locking up on me. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please have a seat. Unless it's more comfortable for you to stay standing here.
I could stand. That would be good. We can get out fast.
Applications heard during tonight's meeting will be voted on by the Planning and Zoning Commission during the meeting tonight. The Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation on these applications will then be submitted to the St. Charles County Council for their final decision on the items. The individual items will be introduced at the Tuesday, November 12th, 2013 County Council meeting. I see we have a quorum. Will someone open the meeting?
So moved.
And second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. The following documents are introduced as a matter of record for the public hearing and regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The Unified Development Ordinances of St. Charles County, including zoning maps, the year 2025 Master Plan for St. Charles County, which includes the year 2025 Future Land Use Plan map. Just for kind of roadmap for the evening, I will introduce the applications into the record. We will then hear from staff on their analysis and recommendation. We will then ask the applicant, if they so choose, to come up and explain what's going on and answer any questions the Commission may have. And then we will open up to the public, where anybody in the room that wishes to speak on this matter will be allowed to do so. After the public hearing, we will bring it back before the Commission. We will discuss it openly and then make our recommendation for the County Council that they will vote on at their next meeting. All right. The only application this evening is application 20475. Let's see, by Christine Comotto, applicant/representative. Jacqueline Nadler, owner. The application requests a rezoning change from A, agricultural district, 5-acre minimum lot size, to C2, general commercial district. The property, known as 125 Defiance Road, is located on the north side of Defiance Road, approximately 300 feet west of Highway 94. The property consists of 0.77 acres and is located within Council District 2. Staff?
All right, thank you. The adjacent zonings to the subject site are C2 to the north, A agricultural to the south, C1 neighborhood commercial to the east, and A agricultural to the west. Land uses include single-family residence to the north, a church and winery to the south, a restaurant and bar to the east, and a wooded area with a single-family residence on it to the west. The 2025 land use plan shows the area to be agritourism. In reviewing the application, with the I'll start off with the agritourism land use category. That there was a Southwest area plan that was done, and basically the winery area was all put in the future land use of agritourism. We created an agritourism zoning district that matches that. This site is not eligible to be zoned agritourism because it has to be 40 acres in order to be zoned agritourism. And the plan, the Southwest area plan for agritourism did spell out things for the town of Defiance and the town of Matson, and I gave you a little excerpt of that. But basically, they were to remain as village-type developments with uses that could be compact in nature, encourage walking in the area, and things of that nature. When staff looks at the zoning change to C2, we have to look at all of the uses that are permitted in the district. We understand that market forces, some of the uses will not would not be appropriate, or not, don't want to say appropriate, but probably would not be realistic at this location because of the traffic and minimal traffic in the area and things of that nature. However, we have to go with the recommendations of the land use plan, and the land use plan doesn't give us specific ideas for what this property should be zoned. So staff is basically saying either of the commercial zoning districts have different impacts and creates different land use plan. Future land use of Defiance needs to be defined in a plan that will guide future land use decisions.
Thank you. Any letters?
Oh, I'm sorry, there was one letter. In support from Dale Rawlings of Yellow Farmhouse Winery.
All right.
Any questions of staff?
All right, thank you. Is the applicant here, and do they wish to step forward? All right, come on up.
Did they receive a copy of the letter from Dale Rawlings?
Yeah, the Planning and Zoning Commission has that
Yes,
letter.
we got
Okay,
it.
thank
Could you
you.
raise your right hand for us?
Yes.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Can you state your name and address for our record?
My name is Christine Comotto. I live at 460 Matt's Way in Defiance, Missouri.
Okay, go ahead.
My husband, Jeff, and myself are asking for this rezoning for a few reasons. First of all, as you are aware, the property is owned by Jacqueline Nadler, and it was zoned as agricultural, and she had a conditional use permit to use it as a bed and breakfast, which she has done so for the last 20 years. She lives on the site. But as you've just heard, I live in Defiance, and we live approximately 2 miles down the road, and we're in negotiation with Mrs. Nadler to buy the property and the business because we would like to run it as a bed and breakfast. However, because we live down the road and we don't want to live on it, I called the zoning office and was advised that in order to do so, we would have to have it rezoned as commercial C2. We feel, based on staff's not really recommendation, but not a recommendation, I don't know what you would call it, we really feel that this would be a beneficial business in the community. We would be running what was already there, and Mrs. Nadler has retired and has since quit operating her business. As the packet that I handed out to you states, there are 4 wineries in close relationship to this property. There is a bike shop right there on the Katy Trail, and there are 2 restaurant bars in the very close vicinity. As tourism has begun to increase in the area, there really is a lack of lodging for people wanting to stay in that area. As an example, the Wine Country Gardens facility in 2014, they're expecting to have over 50 weddings. Currently, in that area, there are only, without including Mrs. Nadler's property, there are only 12 rooms available for people to stay in. So we really believe this would have a positive impact on the town of Defiance as well as the community, because it would add 4 additional rooms. We would continue to use it the way it was used. We simply won't be sleeping there at night. That's the only difference. We are happy to say that we do have a lot of really good support in the community. Mr. Dale Rawlings, who owns the Yellow Farmhouse Winery, which is directly across the street, is also the president of the Defiance Merchant Association, and I've attached a list of all of the merchants. They are all in strong support of it. Unfortunately, tonight is their meeting because they had to move it because of the Cardinal game last week, so they're all at their own meeting tonight. In addition, our county councilman, Mr. Joe Brazel for District 2, he said that he is in support of it, as well as Mrs. Nadler, the property owner. Also, Theobald Realty, which represents a lot of Defiance properties. They are, both Stephanie and Clarence Theobald are in favor of it, and they are Defiance residents as well. So we hope that you will look at it and look at it as a positive for the community. We feel that it does keep in the spirit of the 2025 agritourism plan. if the whole purpose is to bring more tourism to that corridor, what better way than to have a place for people to stay so that their tax dollars are staying in the area and not going to Chesterfield or to places outside of our county boundaries. So I thank you, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any that you'd have. Thank you.
Any questions from the applicant? Okay, thank you. Okay, we will now open this up to the public, so if there's anybody in the room that wishes to speak on this application, please feel free. Can you raise your right hand for us? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, can you state your name and address for our record?
Tom Yeager, address is 3715 Summit, St. Charles, Missouri, 63303.
Go ahead.
Good evening. I own the property next door to Jacqueline Nadler's proposed property that's up for rezoning and for sale. And number one, I fully support this. I have the Defiance Road house next to the restaurant and bar. I fully support the rezoning of this property, not just because of the proposed sale and so forth, but we also have, and Jan, you're aware of this, with vacation of the alley that we did back there between the two properties, which was successfully done through Hazelwood and Weber and through the council a few months back. And we have the plat or the survey, I'm sorry.
Just put it up on the board
Oh,
there.
okay. But I was just made aware by Jan last week when we dropped off these plans that we can't do a land swap thing. The purpose of this rezoning was that the driveway of the B&B was sitting in the middle of the alley. And I'm sure you're aware that down in Defiance, the parking situation is really desperate. And so after the survey was complete and we were brought to attention of the alley, we proposed to vacate the alley and then adjust the boundary, or make the boundary adjustments on the property lines to where the bed and breakfast can physically own the driveway themselves instead of being part of on our property. And therefore, if we would do the front part of the property of the alley to the B&B, and I would take over the back part of the alleyway that was vacated to expand my parking lot. That was the whole purpose of that. And Jan made me aware that you can't do this unless they are exact proportions on the land swap, unless they're zoned the same. So that kind of impacts this rezoning thing, also kind of indirectly impacts the process that we moved on to vacate the alley through the county, which is already a done deal. So, but that's another indirect application to the result of rezoning on this particular deal. So, but I am fully in support of it, obviously, in more ways than one. So,
Are you currently zoned C2?
we are currently zoned Z2.
No, they are zoned, he's zoned
C1 is
C1.
it? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, C1 with a conditional use permit.
Right.
But the properties don't have to have the same zoning category, but what the problem is that because the bed and breakfast is zone A agricultural, that has a 5-acre minimum lot size. The boundary adjustment plat will reduce the size of the property that the bed and breakfast is on. We can't reduce a property that's already below the district. If it were reversed and the bed and breakfast were gaining more property, then the zoning wouldn't be an issue. But since the swap is the way it is, that's why it's an issue.
All right. All right. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Okay, come on up. Can you raise your right hand for us? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Can you state your name and address for a record?
Yes, Stephanie Theobald, 3811 Blue Meadow Court, Defiance, Missouri. I'm actually a real estate agent in the area. I've been in Defiance, grew up there since 1979. I've seen a lot of changes in the area and growth and et cetera. I've seen a lot of change in the different companies that have come in through Defiance. I'm definitely for this. Chris and Jeff have a great plan to make sure that they encompass the tourism plan for the 2025, I think is what it is, tourism plan there in Defiance to help the growth and actually give people a place to stay. A lot of times when they're coming through Defiance, as you know, with the wineries, everything, there's not always a place to stay. So it's a great location. Plus, they want to reach out to some of the local businesses that are in that St. Charles County corridor to actually open it up to other businesses to come out and do different, ideas, functions, things that will bring additional tourism dollars to Defiance area. So I just want to say, as we help Tom buy the taverns, so we're, for this. I think it's a great addition to the community to have a business owner that's present and that wants to develop that. And then also, that there is C2 right across the street, from the property that was rezoned. So that's all I had to say.
Any questions? Thank you. And just as a reminder, anybody who has spoken, if you would, don't forget to fill out one of the speaker cards that are on the podium up here and make sure that Jan gets those before you leave. Is there anybody else? All right. Seeing none, we'll bring it back before the commission. Any comments, questions, discussions?
I would like to speak. As everybody knows, I live in Defiance for the last 20 years. I probably talked to everybody, nearly every resident in Defiance regarding this issue. I'm definitely in favor of it. The only thing, as Joe Cronin had mentioned in his email, and I know what Christine said she would do is this requirement of having her live on the property. How do we do that so she isn't required to live on it?
No, she's not, if it's zone C2, she's not required to live on the property.
So everything is fine, okay?
Yep.
Well, my 2 cents, absolutely 1,000% for it. I think it's good for the community and everything that they've stated. I think one of your comments as a recommendation, Jan, the future land use of Defiance needs to be defined in a plan that can guide future land use decisions, but that's not their problem. I think that's part of the Dale Rollins and the Augusta, that whole area. I mean, they've got including Joe Brazel, getting together and finding out how that growth is going to take place. But having lived out there and knowing most of the property owners, I think it's been a very slow growth, and the tourism, as I've told everybody here, on a good weekend, this past weekend, we probably had more visitors down there than the zoo and the science center combined. It was bumper to bumper, and the biggest thing, I think, lack of places to stay. I know Dale Rollins said when he had movie nights, people would just book the place across the street because they didn't want to drink and drive. So they watch movies over there and go over and stay at his, at the bed and breakfast. So I am in favor of it.
Anything else? Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Griffin, how do you vote?
Absolutely, yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Leonard? He's not even here, is he? Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Pauley?
Yes.
Mr. Settley?
I must abstain and recuse myself.
Okay. I vote yes. Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Fromm?
Yes.
Motion is approved 7-0 with 1 abstention. All right. The only other item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the September 18th meeting. Any changes? All right. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Any other items before the commission before we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See you next month.